Hello, welcome to episode 97 of the Online Strength Coach podcast. Today we're going to be covering a topic of how to be the best gym partner possible, or how to be the best coach possible. It comes down to one super secret tip that scientists and philosophers don't want you to know. But before we cover that tip, I'd just like to say well done to the Northern Ireland lads in the football through the quarterfinals, showing once again that not only do we have a talent for bigotry and killing each other, but some of the boys can kick a football around as well. Not that I really care about football, but I like to see the home country doing well in something other than killing each other. Guys, that one secret tip is being honest to your training partner, being honest as a coach. The thing about weights is they're always going to be objective. You're going to be strong enough or not strong enough on the day to do the weight. Doesn't matter whether it's weightlifting, strongman, powerlifting, or just lifting in the gym. It can be easy as a training partner or a coach to want to be nice to the person you're training with, to the person you're training, try to keep your spirits high. Maybe when you know and they know for your federation that squat wasn't deep enough. You both know it wasn't deep enough. But you can take the easy route and say to your training partner, yeah, I think that was about in, or it was borderline. You as a lifter can believe that, or you can just tell them the truth and say that wasn't deep enough. This is where people come up a cropper when it comes to meets, or when it comes to brass tacks, or when it comes to actually putting your training under duress or putting it under objective spotlight. This is where all these people come unstuck, because they feed each other bullshit, or they feed each other what they want to hear in the pretense they're being nice to each other, or they're helping each other out. But all you're doing is feeding each other fantasies that don't exist. I think, from my own point of view, I'd rather send a lifter or an athlete away crying, knowing that I had told them what they needed to hear to help them improve at that point in time. Now, that might sound a little bit harsh to some people, but over the long run, you're doing that person a service. You're being a good coach, you're being a good training partner. Telling them what they want to hear is the direct opposite of that. The people who are used, or who are held to account by their training partners, the people who are held to account by their trainers or their coaches, the people who lift or train in a respectful yet tough environment. It doesn't need to be tough as in it's draconian or it's silly in that sort of way. It doesn't need to be like the Full Metal Jacket boot camp. But somewhere where people are honest, they're honest with themselves, they're honest with their training partners. These gyms and these people, these are the people that will improve. These are the people that will go further. These are the people who, when it comes to putting your training to the test, or when it comes to a dark time or a tough time within your sport, or even further afield within life, the people who tell you the truth, those are the people you want to stick around. The people that want to be nice to you, or the people that want to tell you what you want to hear, these are the people you should avoid at all points in life. One of my favorite quotes is a quote that our head coach Alan Solomons has up in his office. It's from St. Augustine. The quote is, "The truth is like a lion. You don't need to defend it, let it loose, and it will defend itself." That, I think, speaks boundaries for a lot of things. And I think where a lot of people can get down, or where a lot of people can get distraught, or where a lot of people think they need motivation when it comes to lifting, is because weights and gravity are relentless. They always weigh the same. They never care for how you're feeling. They don't care for where you're at. They don't care if you had a bad day. They don't care if you're not feeling all right. they're inanimate objects. Gravity is a universal constant. These two things, this inanimate object and this universal constant of gravity that is older and universal and will always be, has been before you, will be long and truly after you're dead and gone. These two forces of nature, the subjective load and this force of nature, don't care for your subjective opinion, how you feel, how you are today, how your training's been going, how your last competition went, how you feel. Sport's not about that. Or at least lifting's not about that. Lifting, if you want to be a good lifter or you want to get better at training, or you want to utilize lifting as an athlete, but you want to be as good as you can be, you need to be truthful with yourself and others every day. Especially when it's what you don't want to hear. That's the difference, I think, in a lot of environments. The difference between a good high-performance environment and the difference between that and a circle jerk is in a good high-performance environment, when you're not up to scratch, we'll tell you about it. When you're not dragging your weight, we'll tell you about it. We'll tell you about it in a constructive way. We'll say, you're within the context of lifting, your deadlift form's not good enough, you're losing kilos here and there. Sure, that's a heavy weight, but you lifted it in a pretty bullshit way. You're putting your back in danger. You're not locking it out properly. You're doing touch and go, so you're inflating your numbers. Good training partners, good coaches will tell you exactly this. They will tell you what you need to hear, when you need to hear it, and especially when it's what you don't want to hear. The shit training partners or the shit coaches, they'll tell you oh, that's a really good weight. Oh, that's very impressive. Oh, that's really good, man. I wish it could be that strong. Oh, that squat's really strong. Oh, that bench is really good even though your arse is about 20 feet in the air. Oh, that squat's great. Oh, you're really strong even though you're not squatting at the proper depth. Or you're good morning the shit out of it, or you're using really poor technique, or oh yeah, that strict press is real good even though you're fucking push pressing it. These are the kind of training partners you need to stay away from. The sort of training partners that will spot, the sort of training partner will put their hands on the bar in a spot you through it, and tell you it was all you, bro. It was all you. When you both know it wasn't you. These are the guys who these are the training partners that congregate together, and they end up being the three kind of stereotypical curl bros, or the three jackasses that stand around the bar, put 180 kilos on it when the guy underneath the weight can't even bench 100, and spot him through 5-6 reps, and then he goes and tells his mates they can bench 180 for 5 or 6 reps. When they haven't earned it, they'll never earn it, yet they'll go around and they'll tell people about it. You can get away with that when you're hanging out with your mates, or when you're in little circle jerk training communities. But when it comes to actually putting it to the test, putting it in a competition with legit rules and legit adjudication, that's when it comes a cropper. I think it's the sort of thing that leads to where in my opinion, a lot of powerlifters went awry as well, where we have federations that don't follow good rules, that pass bullshit lifts, that pass some lifts, fail other lifts, that don't provide a hard, stringent, as objective as possible standard across every level, from regional to international, regardless of your nationality, regardless of who you are. And I think that's probably a good place to leave it, before it becomes any more of a rambling mess. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Probably a bit less practical than normal, but hopefully you can take something away from it. I'm going to be recording the next live podcast, episode 98. That will probably be on Thursday. I'll come up with a time closer to the day. That'll be Thursday the 23rd of June. Thank you very much for listening. Hope you've enjoyed what's passed over your week. Hope you have a good weekend, and hopefully I'll catch you on Thursday for the live podcast. If you have any questions or comments, as always, please shoot them to speedpowerperformance@gmail.com or leave a comment below. Thank you very much for listening. I've been Mark, and catch you in the next one. Goodbye.